Good morning, it's Devorah. It's InStory Live, and it's my ongoing series on awakening. How do you awaken to your best self? I'm blowing the shofar, which is an ancient ram's horn in the Jewish tradition. And oh, my assistant just showed up. Here's Hector. Say hi. and I'm always, hi Kay, I'm always trying to remind you to really step into the moment. Oops, Hector's being my assistant and knocking things over. Good morning, Janice. and so, you know, Hector just jumped up on the table and bumped things. It's okay. Like, try something new, and if it doesn't come out perfect, that's okay. Try again, you know. And hi, Janice. Good morning. You know, try like a Facebook Live in one of my private Facebook groups and share something from your heart, something from your spirit, or share a moment. You know, here's Hector. and you know, in some ways, blowing the shofar is my sharing a kind of a moment of my experience, because this time period is the time period before Rosh Hashanah in my Jewish life. So that's bringing you into my time. So what's in time for you? Like, what are you thinking? What's moving you? What's shaping your experience? And is there something in that that would inspire somebody else? So looking for those lines of connection. So many people who watch me are not Jewish, so they're not inside of the time period in terms of the Jewish holiday cycle, because that's not their cycle at all. But the idea of awakening is universal. It doesn't have to be connected to a particular time. It's noticing, how do you wake up out of the automatic, right? Like, being awake means being unawake. It's like you're unaware. You're not, like when you're asleep, physically, classically asleep, you're not aware of what's going on outside of you. You're aware of your inner life, your dreams perhaps, but we get on kind of automatic pilot. And it is kind of a sleep, meaning we're in old stories or old habits, and we're not awake and seeing things in a new way. So, you know, I teach all the time about metaphor. So in some ways, the shofar obviously it's not actually waking you up. You're awake, you're listening. It's really a metaphor. Hi, Eugenia. It's really a metaphor for pausing and noticing something more expansive, right? Like that teaching that I always do about pause, notice, and shift is super powerful. So I want to encourage you to use this moment of shofar blowing in your own life to pause, notice, and shift in some way, to wake up, look up, maybe do something in a different way, add a new soul nourishing practice for the day, do something new that nourishes you. And if you're part of do one thing, so pick one thing that you're going to do today that will be soul nourishing, or that you need to do. So today, I know what my do one thing is make a video I have to make. Kay knows my metaphor, magic, and mastery video. And so for me, today is a sit down and do one thing in my business. Sometimes I have a do one thing in my personal, expansive, soul nourishing side of me that that's where I need my push. Where do you need a push today to do one thing that you have been putting off? So pick something and do that thing today that you've been putting off. And also look up, wake up, shift, and feel that best self wake up feeling. I already feel better. I woke up this morning with a very hoarse, scratchy voice, but it's a little still like that, but it's already better. And one of the things that I notice is that for me, when I make these videos, it makes me lift myself up. So maybe you do that in writing, like Janice and I were talking about the qualities of being an introvert. And if you are an introvert and you haven't studied the work of Susan Cain and her book Quiet or her TED Talk, it's very a great teaching and great advocacy and wisdom for introverts. But whatever it is you have to say, notice, are you saying it? Maybe you just tell a friend. Share your wisdom and inspiration, okay? So that you can wake up. And remember also, one of the symbols and messages of the shofar is the concept of whole, broken, whole. And that's how it is. We feel whole, something happens, you feel broken, you put yourself back together, you know you're whole. We're always going back to being whole. So, with no further ado, you can close your eyes, you can stand up, you can feel like you're a channel, a vessel, to hear the shofar, to wake you up, and then take a moment, you'll see I do that, to feel the stillness after the sound, that expanded stillness. All right, here we go. And feel the expanded stillness of what's possible. That's kind of what I feel when I blow the shofar. It's this expanded energy and then the kind of expanded stillness of what's possible. More is possible than we realize. More is possible than we think. Feel expanded into more is possible than we think. So, sending you all much love, many blessings. Remember to go out in the world, share your story, live your purpose, and be a blessing. Bye, folks.